Chicago Community Corner. I'm your host, Latonya Hicks, and today in the studio we have very special guests, Ms. Virginia Vargas, Elizabeth Campos, and Maria Rivera. Also, we have our special Mr. Peral. As we know, Mexican independence has been something that has been celebrated throughout the city of Chicago for many years. Mr. P, can you elaborate on Mexican independence for us?
Latonya, I can tell you one thing. For what I have learned throughout the years, the first Mexican individual that came into East Chicago, Indiana, which at that time he used to be called Indiana Harbor. It was back in 1910. During the Mexican Revolution, the Mexican people began to come to this area because mainly of industry, looking out for work. And for what I know, since 1918, the Mexican community has been celebrating these occasions, the independence of Mexico from the Crown of Spain. And there's an important fact that it's not common, not regular, that in every festivity, people elect a queen and a court. And the only queen that I know, of course I was not here at that time, it was back in 1941, the only queen that lasted 5 years as a queen. Why 5 years? Because the Mexican people, citizens or non-citizens of this country, they stuck together with the United States because the United States was in war. After the end of Second World War, they began to celebrate again. And it happened to be that that young lady that remained to be a queen for 5 years, her name is Rosa Maria Clarkson. Afterwards, the Gomez, because she married Jesse Gomez. Rest in peace. Now, the UBM, La Union Benefica Mexicana, was not in existence at those years. The Union Benefica Mexicana was born actually and legally on the 18th of November 1956 by the conjunction of three organizations: Sociedad Mutualista Benito Juárez, Sociedad Mexicana Cuauhtémoc, and a few months after, Sociedad Mexicana de Trabajadores Latinoamericanos. That's when the UBM, La Unión Benéfica Mexicana, was born. I would probably can say that I'm one of the oldest members of the UBM. I have been an active member of the UBM since the 24th of February 1958. I'm not one of the founders, but I can mention two gentlemen that I remember they are the founders, Don Ignacio Verduzco y Don Jesús María Martínez. Many of the other gentlemen and ladies, because we had great ladies in that Mexican American organization in this wonderful city of East Chicago, of which I am very proud to live in and to count with so many people. But now, this group of young ladies, they're coming up with some good news that we have never had in the past. Now, if you ladies would like to explain to Latonya and our viewers what you're doing.
This year we came out with the very first tiny king and queen pageant of the UBM. And the purpose of this is for the younger generation to gain more confidence within themselves, to give them more cultural knowledge of their own culture. They are also diverse in many different ways, as we have seen with them. They stay involved in many different issues, such as bullying. They try to reach out to the poverty areas to help with food drives. We just recently had at St. Pat's a function. It's an event from the Lakeside, what was the name of it? It's an organization to fight for peace, and they did an event to bring the community back together to touch different bases of these issues that are currently within our communities, and we would like to help rebuild. And our generation today, with these tiny pageant members, the courts, they have been involved with this, and it is.
I think that we're trying to have the kids be a better self. So instill cultural values, self-confidence, self-esteem. So we want our kids to start getting it at an earlier age. We want them to receive those things at an earlier age so that they can be a better self when they become teenagers or adults. Yeah. So I think that the UBM, through this pageant, they're actually helping them do that.
I believe so also.
Absolutely.
And it's been a challenge for them, and they have built so many characteristics within themselves that they didn't even know that they had.
Yes.
And just to see the smiles on their face and the accomplishments that they have made.
Yes.
With the duration of this time.
Yes, my son Antonio, he was very, very shy. Virginia was saying that when she first spoke to him, he wouldn't even answer back. No. He wouldn't even respond to her. No. And now he's the king. And so he walks around, his head held high, he has this confidence is out of the roof. And so it's helped him in many, many ways. He has nerve palsy. So he's dealt with that for quite a bit since he was younger, his appearance. And this has helped him in so many ways, and I keep telling everyone. I know we were so emotional the day of the pageant, and I don't think anybody really understood what it meant to him to be king. And so another thing is we just recently moved to Munster, so their classrooms are predominantly white. So that's something that I don't want them to forget. I don't want them to forget about their culture, where they're from. We're from East Chicago. I was born and raised, so it was important for me to teach my kids that. And I know they hear it from me all the time at home. We're watching documentaries, we're watching movies, but to actually be around other adults and other children that are learning it, I think it caught on like that, because they're at home and they're researching and they want to watch movies and they want to learn about Selena, and they want to learn the songs, and they want to learn Spanish. So I think it helped in many, many ways.
That is great. That is great.
I have a question. I wanted to know, how did you ladies get involved? How did you find out about this pageant?
I heard about it through Facebook. I seen it on Facebook, and I thought, etiquette? They were going to teach them how to eat, how to sit right, and I said, oh, that's awesome. I love that. And I don't have any girls, so I have 3 boys. So I said, maybe if I had a girl, they probably wouldn't they probably wouldn't have answered it, but I don't. So it's really important for my boys to be respectful. I want them to be just wonderful people when they get older. So when I seen it and I said, oh my God, they'll learn about their culture. They'll, they have etiquette. They have to do a talent. My son can sing, but if he had a little bit more practice, I know that he would be, wow. And so I thought, this is like perfect. And it was for boys, because a lot of programs don't involve boys. It's kind of mostly for girls. And growing up, I've seen the royal court and the parades, and at other functions. And I thought, how awesome is that they included boys in this, and in the Tiny King and Queen. So I signed up immediately.
And for us, myself and my husband, we do volunteer work with different functions and events within the communities. And our parents, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, Mr. Pedro Vargas and Mrs. Margaret Ramirez Vargas, has been involved with the UBM for many years. So we have decided to pick that up, that tradition that was within our family, and to try to continue that tradition.
So talking about tradition, let me ask you one thing. Does your children feel that they are Mexicans?
Yes.
Let me tell you why. I only have one grandson. He's only 8 years of age. He was born and he lives in Bloomington, Indiana. And every time he comes here to East Chicago, he tells me, well, I'm in Mexico. Because I take him to the store, El Fuerte, and buy all kind of candies and cookies, and he believes that is Mexico. But he knows, although he is mixed, half Mexican and half Americano or Gringo, Caucasian, he wants to go to Mexico. Mexico is that store, El Fuerte. I'm not making propaganda to El Fuerte. I'm only talking about my grandson, the way he feels that he is Mexican.
And you know what, before I can be honest and say, I don't think my boys thought they were like Mexicans before this pageant. Because what Rosa and Margaret did for these boys they instilled pride into them. So they walked out, I know for my boys, they walked out proud. And they wanted to know more about it. So I think that after the pageant, they were like, I am Mexican.
I agree with that, because our daughter, Ariana, she was the same way. She would run around the house singing Spanish songs in the vehicle, but it also tailed onto our youngest son, little David Vargas, and now...
That's another important part of our lives. Do you teach your children Spanish language?
It's not fluent in the home. In a lot of homes, I see it's not fluent.
Okay. Let me, if you permit me, to give you a little piece of advice. Tell them, son or daughter, remember that a person who 2 languages speak for 2 persons is worth.
That's good, Mr. King.
Yes,
I just want to thank you guys for joining us here in the studio today. I think that the Tiny King and Queen pageant is very important, especially with the values that they're giving to these kids and teaching them different things like that. So now we'll cut to the kids. And now I'm here with the Tiny King and Queen, Prince, King, Queen, Princess, and the Duchess. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start with you, with the Prince. I need you guys to tell me your names.
Christian
Last name?
Campos.
King?
I'm Antonio Campos. I am Mariana Vargas. Leila Catwaniz. Gabrielle Garcia.
Okay, so we're just going to talk a little bit. Anybody can just pitch in and chime in at any time. How do you guys feel about the program?
We feel good about the program because it's more resourceful, so it can help us reach our goals.
Okay. Anybody else?
It's really fun. We get to have time together, all friends. We can make new friends. We're meeting new people that we've never met before. And we travel to places. Yes. Yeah. And sing on stages for other people. In front of,
and we get kept busy by Margaret.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So can you tell me some of the things that you've learned?
What I've learned from being in the pageant was to always be confident in yourself and never give up, and to always be brave.
What I have learned is more about my culture and more Spanish.
What I learned is to make new friends and to be polite, sit like this, stand polite, and actually eat polite and cut your chicken.
Eat chicken?
What I learned was to keep my head up high. I learned to sit properly.
So what's the most fun part about being in the pageant?
The most fun part is like everything. You could do anything, like you can sing, dance, one more talent. It's like the fun part about being here is to be with the friends and be like making sure everything's okay. Like, how would I put this? Like, we get to go everywhere that we've never been before, performing it like in front of a lot of people that we've never seen, and they're encouraging us, and we're all encouraging each other that they can do it.
Okay, so you guys said that you get to perform in front of a lot of people. What
Yes.
are you actually performing? Can you talk about that?
We all performed at the Festival of the Lakes, and it was pretty fun actually. All of us went on rides together as friends.
We had to learn songs, and we performed our songs.
And now we gotta learn new songs and dance. Yep. And dance and learn Spanish songs that are really hard, but once you get it, it's just so easy. Like easy. Nobody really knows a lick of Spanish. Like no one doesn't like.
Okay, so what would you say to other kids they may want to be in the Tiny King and Queen pageant? What advice would you give them?
For other kids, the advice I would give them would be to stick to what you want to finish and to just have fun.
And I wouldn't tell them that when you get in the pageant, everybody is a winner. And you don't need a crown or nothing. You're always that special person inside. If you get if you're like in the middle, push yourself to the end, because it's hard towards the end, but with your new friends, they can help you stick to it and to never give up and always be there for each other. Yeah, no matter what, you always be a real court. Yeah, no matter what, you don't need a crown, nothing. You are special inside.
You always stick together.
Yes, as friends.
Okay, so what do you want to be when you grow up?
I actually want to be a police officer to stop crime.
I would like to be an orthopedic surgeon because I would like to help kids my age.
What I want to be is a teacher to help kids what they don't know and to make sure they reach their goal as what we did. I want to be a face doctor because I have problems with myself, with my face, so I want to help other children and other people. I want to be a lawyer because I think that's really cool.
Okay. So you guys know that you are leaders in our community, right?
Yes.
What kind of advice would you give to young kids your age and even older than you that may not have dreams or may not feel that they can accomplish things in life?
The advice that I would give them is to keep your head up high and to never give up. Stick what you've done, and like whatever you do, finish it till the end. What advice would I would give them is to always reach for your dreams.
The advice that I would give kids younger and older than me is to follow your dreams and to never give up.
No matter what, kids could do anything they dream to do. The impossible, you can do anything of the impossible. Even the word impossible means I'm possible. In Mexican, it does. Means Mexican, not Mexicans.
Okay, so when you guys get older, do you want to become a part of the King and Queen pageant?
Yes, definitely, but it is a lot of work. More torture than with the little kids.
Margaret told us.
Even though Margaret could be a little bit harsh, it's all worth it at the end. Yeah, it's worth it. You gotta work hard. You gotta study all the time.
Even if you don't win it, it's still worth it.
Yeah,
Because you
put
still
all
get
this
some- you get
effort
something
into
out
it.
of it.
Yes, you put
To perform
and you perform. You work so hard, but you should be proud of yourself, even though you lose or win. It doesn't matter. You should be proud of yourself. That you should be like, I got this. I know how to sing.
Finish it till the end.
Yes. So
What's some of the hard work that you put into it? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
the hard work that we put into it is to be on the practices, to get everything for the pageant, so we know what to do. And like, it's been tough because it was like 30 minutes and then it went down to 4 hours of practicing. And yes, that's pretty much it.
It was a lot of work.
Because I forgot the question. But we are known as the happy group. Yes, the happy group.
We love to have fun.
Okay, well, I want to thank you all so much for being here. You guys are so talented. You look so beautiful today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind words that you've given, and good luck to you with all that you're going to do in the future. You're definitely going to make an impact. And as you said, never give up on your dreams, no matter what.
Never.
So can you guys say that on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
Never give up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak here.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We want to thank everyone for joining us here in Community Corner. I'm your host, Latonya Hicks.